We'll be continuing with the BCIA didactic area number 5, entitled Autonomic Nervous System Applications. In this lecture, we'll be covering basic psychophysiological concepts. We'll also be looking at vascular disorders, the circulatory system, and respiration. It's a lot to cover. These are some of the basic psychophysiological concepts that are part of the language used in the field of psychophysiology and biofeedback. We'll spend some time on each of these concepts. In recording psychophysiological data, we often start with a baseline, which reflects tonic activity. The slow-changing tonic levels are thought to be an index of the general level of arousal in the sympathetic nervous system. A second, shorter and more abrupt phasic response are thought to be associated with short-term stimuli, such as internal thoughts or external events. The orienting response is sometimes called the orienting reflex. The orienting reflex is a response to novelty. Whenever something occurs that is novel to the organism, the individual stops what it's doing and turns its senses to the source of the stimuli. This is the behavioral component of orienting. Orienting is a collection of reflexes that include a drop in skin resistance and a momentary drop in heart rate. With repeated presentation to a stimulus, habituation occurs. The orienting response is weakened. But any change in that stimulus may reinitiate the orienting response, a process called dishabituation. Bernard T. Engel is a renowned scientist in the field of psychosomatic medicine. He developed the concepts of situational or stimulus specificity and response stereotypy. Although it's true that specific stimulus tend to elicit a response in most human beings, each of us has a particular pattern of stimulus-response specificity based on nature-nurture issues, their individual physiology, and their upbringing. Each person responds specifically to some stimulus in a different way from others. The last physiological concept I'd like to cover involves stress itself. Often people think of stress as an emotional concept. People talk about being stressed out. But stress can also be physical. Lack of proper sleep, poor diet, environmental pollution can also cause stress. Stress is not always a bad thing. Stress can promote growth, both biologically and psychologically. For example, when a muscle is stressed, it will grow and become stronger. But at a certain point, the strain of stress can cause pathology. Let's now begin to cover the area of thermal biofeedback applications by looking at vascular disorders. Thermal biofeedback is considered one of the best measures of overall psychophysiological levels of arousal. In most cases, if a person is sympathetically activated, the peripheral temperature of his or her fingers will be low, between room temperature and about 87 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's go a little deeper into an understanding of the circulatory system to see why good blood flow is vitally important to our health.